He's a force down low with his touch around the rim as well. And now he's starting to take his defensive presence. We can be the best team going into the MEAC tournament next year and be the luckiest as well. Big game, so we're looking forward to that.
1 point ball game. Here's Christian Ames. Back at the buzzers, up and good. And he stands there and poses for center top 10. Wow.
Join the hashtag HBCU Madness Challenge and show off your school pride with KRSB Network's mobile media radio broadcast, HBCU Sport with KRSB Network.
And good evening and welcome to the Burr on the campus of Howard University. MEAC action. Back to the MEAC. Tonight's basketball game features a highly anticipated matchup between the two-time defending conference champions, the number 2 seed, Spartans of Norfolk State, and the number 1 team in the conference, the Howard Bison. This game is going to be exciting, folks. The Bison are looking to pull off a regular season sweep against the Spartans, still fresh in the minds of Norfolk State's players. Their controversial ending at Echols Hall has the Spartans fired up and ready for revenge. So get ready for some MEAC action, folks. Hashtag HBCU Madness Challenge. I'm Related Hughes along with Kia Bird and Uncle Rel, Terrell Ducree, and Ma. We welcome you here. We are on the floor, not behind the backboard, not up in a hockey press box. We are on the floor and probably, arguably, the most historic HBCU in the land, Howard University.
I mean, this environment is electric. This is actually my first time on Howard's campus and did not disappoint. We couldn't have better view. I mean, we're on courtside. This vantage point cannot be beat. We will be able to hear all the calls, hear the players, hear the plays, everything tonight. This is exciting, though.
Uncle Rel, we are here in D.C. We got close last week in Baltimore. They treated us nicely, but you hear the Howard Pep Band is here. This box is nice and secluded. We're going to give you, welcome you, Uncle Rel, here.
Oh, man. All I'm missing now is the mambo sauce and a little bit of junkyard. It's amazing to be there back in the crux of historically Black colleges and universities, Howard University. But let's get right to why we're actually there. This is the precursor to being able to get to that tournament that gets you to that bigger tournament. And right now, it's about for all the marbles playing for first place in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Norfolk State University and the Howard University Bison have to decide in the game plan today how they're going to execute. I'm just excited that KRSB getting a tune-up here for the MEAC tournament with Kia and Orlando Hughes and the entire staff of the KRSB Network. Thank you to all that are watching and listening. I'm just back to you all. Let Uncle Rel just tighten up and stay tuned for Uncle Rel's Corner. We got a lot to talk about, but I'm just excited. What do you two have?
Well, listen, Uncle Rel, you can calm down because they did the introductions. We are being broadcasted on national TV on a network, which I won't mention. So we can get really into our broadcast. We'll give you the starting lineup since we got everyone all hype and excited. Uncle Rel did that. For the visiting Spartans of Norfolk State University, they'll start off with Joe Bryant, the 6'1 senior out of Norfolk, Virginia. Terrence Jones, a 6'3 sophomore out of Trenton, New Jersey. Tyrese Jenkins, number 5, starts to guard forward out of Richmond. Isaiah Chambers, the 6'7 junior forward out of Chesapeake, Virginia. And at the other forward or center spot, depending on what kind of basketball you want, Chris Bankston, the 6'9" grad student from Little Rock, Virginia, for the hometown Bison of Howard Union. Their seniors. They have Marcus Dockery, who's a 6'2" sophomore right here from Washington, D.C. Elijah Hawkins, KB. We'll be talking a lot about him. Number 3, 5'11", and you said he's 5'11" listed. He's probably my height, probably a little bit shorter than that. Sophomore out of Washington, D.C. Forward is Steven Settle, one of the snipers in Black college basketball. He's 6'10", 65.
That I think they told the truth about, because he's standing right in front of me, and I think 40 pounds of it is in his feet.
He's out of Glenard in Maryland. Shy Odom. We're going to watch our matchup with Shy Odom, KB. We'll talk about that. Number 22, 6'6" freshman out of Roxbury, Massachusetts. And Jordan Wood, 6'9", junior forward out of San Antonio, Texas, KB.
I mean, a lot of exciting matchups. I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup between Shy Odom and Dana Tate. Dana Tate, 6'7", Shy Odom, 6'9", but they have very similar builds and are the utility players for both of these ball clubs. I mean, these gentlemen know how to score in many different ways. They play tough physical defense and great rebounders. You know, Odom for Howard and Tate for NSU. So this is going to be an exciting matchup to see tonight.
Our officials for tonight's game will be Howard Bison, Keith Bennett, and the number 1 seed for the regular season champion in the conference, KB. And let's just keep it African American, if you would.
Right.
Keep it all the way. There's a lot of scenarios, but if Howard wins and they sweep Norfolk State, they are the outright 2022-23 MEAC regular season champions. If Norfolk State wins, they become the MEAC champions. And that's all we're going to say on that one.
I love the way you explain that, because as I read it in the MEAC notes, it sounded like an algebra problem to me, and it had my head spinning. So I love the way you broke that down for me. Thank you so much.
And Uncle Rel, I kept it politically correct for you as well.
If you're in the district, it's only right.
Well, KB, she has some complaints, so
me and Mr. B got a couple things that we need to just.
So they got about
I like it.
4 minutes. We'll step away. Televised game tonight. KRSB Network here bringing you MEAC basketball action. The family's in the house. Orlando Hughes, Uncle Rel, Damon, KB, Kia Bird in the house. We'll step away. You are listening to MEAC basketball right here on the KRSB Network.
Attention all sports fans. Are you ready for in-depth coverage of historically Black college and university sports and professional sports? Look no further than HBC, organization dedicated to covering the stories and achievements of HBCU student athletes and pro players. As a member, you'll have access to a community of local and national Black journalists, all working together to increase coverage of HBCU programs. Join us today. Be a part of the Legion of HBCU and pro sports reporters. Visit us at hbcuprosportsmedia.com and stay informed on the latest HBCU and pro sports news. Unique way to market your products and services and reach your customers. Whether it's a victory, the HBCU game of the week, or something else, we got you covered.
As an HBCU athlete, you have a unique perspective that can help others. At KRSB Network, we want to hear your story and share it with the world. Whether it's your favorite moment, the years you participated, or how your HBCU grew.
You are listening to MEAC Basketball on the KRSB Network.
And welcome back to Burr Arena here on the campus of Howard University. Kia Bird, Rel McCree, I'm Orlando Hughes, getting set number 1 versus number 2. Just about 2 minutes here in KB. We were taken back just about a week ago and give thanks to the folks that we hung out with for the better part of this year basketball, the CIAA conference and the CIAA championship and tournament that they put on in Baltimore, Maryland. And I got to say, hats off CIAA, Madam Commissioner. That was a great event.
Yeah, it was a well put together event, a lot of exciting games. And we often talk about, it doesn't matter the conference, the energy is always going to be very prideful and exciting. And, you know, as we sit right on the floor in Burr Arena, we see all of the red and blue and all of the fans. I heard a rumor that Miss Felicia Rashad will be in the building tonight. She is a dean here at Howard University. I can't wait until she walks into the room. I'm expecting rose petals to be laid out when she comes in. And, you know, this game, 1 and 2 seed, this is personal tonight between these two teams.
Definitely personal. And as we move up, the difference between Division II, CIAA, Division I, you can just look at the size of these young men on the court as they walk by us. Bulky, more athletic and physically fit these young men are. So, Uncle Rel, we are in the Burr. As I look around in the banners and the different signage of Howard and what's there, this is one of the unique arenas in HBCU sports.
It is hallowed ground, O&P, and you know, to have it be so meaningful and with this such nostalgic patrons and lineage that could be walking through the building, as Kia alluded to. It's just that kind of a night. It's the MEAC conference, and it's between two teams with a storied legacy, and in particular here as of late, Norfolk State being the perennial historically black college basketball program in the nation, led by a coach in Rob Jones, who is a mid-major delicacy, if you will, amongst a lot of collegiate scouts and universities. Best and believe there's a lot of eyes on him. Norfolk State has had a lot of great wins. They've had a tremendous amount of success. And conversely, in Burr Arena, the Howard Bison playing right now for a chance to have a title, a regular season title, going up against that juggernaut that is Norfolk State, that has had some recent success, even on the biggest stage in the NCAA tournament recently. It'll be good to see how the home field advantage of Burr maybe can freeze, as we say, Burr can freeze that Norfolk State offense. And on the other side, what does the road Spartans have in play coming into a hostile environment where they've got to get the W and get back down the road to Norfolk?
All right, so we are set for tip-off finally. Spartans are wearing their black alternative uniforms, gold letters, green numbers. Jordan and Bankston. Norfolk State will have the rock. They're moving left to right on our dial. On the far side, the Chambers gets it up top to Bankston. Half-court man-to-man being applied by Howard. On the far side, Chambers eyes a three-pointer from the corner. No good. Loose ball comes down to Jenkins. His shot from the top of the key. Front end, no good. He gets his own board. Steps inside, goes in. His shot was blocked by Settle. Here comes Howard. Moving right to left on your dial. Hawkins with the rock. Spartans half-court man-to-man. Hawkins takes it to the right side. He's quickly double team in the corner. Skips it over Wood. Three-pointer from the left corner.
His presence felt right away. You could tell this is his court, his net.
3-0 early advantage for Howard. Jenkins brings it up. Dangerous pass, and it's stolen by Howard. Out on the break. There's a shot. Odom takes it in and bangs it home with one hand.
And we talked about Shy Odom in the beginning of the broadcast. This man can get it done from any place on the court. He plays excellent defense as you see him getting his hands into that passing lane.
Tyrese Jenkins being pressured. Gibson in the banks and right side elbow. His bounce pass over as we tried to look through Rob Jones. Tried to the backdoor lob inside. to Bankston, and we got an offensive foul on Bankston pushing in the back.
And we don't get to see or call Norfolk State games a lot, but every time we've seen them, we see them struggle a little bit with the zone defense.
This is Hawkins walking it up. Gives it to Wood on that baseline. Hawkins picks up his dribble. It's a nice pass aside to Odom. Odom with the reverse layup, and it's a quick 7-0 advantage Bison on the Spartans.
And again, Odom doing it all, moving without the basketball, catching that backdoor court, perfect reverse layup.
All right, so here we go. This is your nephew with the rock. Joe having problems dribbling, kicks it out. Skips it up top to number 2. Inside, missed his shot, no good. Tipped in by Chambers. That was Terrence Jones for Norfolk State, number 2. Unable to see the names, but I know the faces, KB. All right, here on the near side, Howard with the rock. This is Dockery. Dockery into Odom. Odom skips to the right side. Three-pointer up by Hawkins. Off balance is up and good. So Howard is blitzing the Spartans early here, KB.
Man, there's a little bit of sunshine on that left corner.
17-39, 10-2 advantage for the Bison. Chambers, nice dump inside. Bankston grabs it, jams it home with 2, and gets the foul.
You know, Mr. Bankston, we often talk about his athleticism. I mean, his size, his bounce, catching that pass underneath the basket and not playing around with it with the 2.
65% free throw shooter, trying to convert on the three-point opportunity to cut this lead in half. 10-4 is our score. Howard came out and just put the blitz on the Spartans.
You know, it's important for these teams to set the tones in these matchups, number 1 and number 2. It's all about bragging rights tonight.
He misses that shot. Loose ball comes down to the big man for Howard. Settle bringing it up. Skips it near side. Wood gets past Banks. He tries to block, and it's pressed down by Isaiah Chambers. Here comes the Spartans. Chambers out of nowhere blocks that shot on Settles. He drew past Chris Bankston. Inside, Chambers is hit and foul hard. That foul's going to be on number 22, and that's Odom for Howard with the push. Wow, man.
Yeah. Just a few moments ago, we got to see Settles handle the ball at 6'11 and 180. Not a bad handle for the big man.
That foul's going to be on Shy Odom, as we mentioned. Howard's second. Chambers at the line for the Spartans. He shoots 74%. First shot rattles off the back end of the iron. Inside the game, Shy Odom will go to the bench, and he's replaced by Kobe Dixon. And you watched a lot of him on that road trip down here from Philly.
You did. Kobe Dixon for Howard usually is the first man off the bench for the Bison.
So Chambers 1 of 2 from the line. 10-5 is our score. Howard with the advantage. Here comes Howard out on the break. This is Dockery. Skips it out. Wood, another three-pointer, no good. Loose ball down to Chambers. Chambers gets it ahead to Kaim Brown. Kaim running on the left side. He picks up his dribble, drops it to Chambers, and gets it back. Half-court man-to-man. They get it down to Bankston, working on Wood. Chris muscles him, takes him in. Reverse layup is up and good.
And just like Uncle Rel told us earlier, how Chris Bankston likes to get players on his hip. You know, he showed his footwork with that perfect spin move.
Dockery stops right in front of us, takes a picture, and hits a deep three-pointer. 13-7 Howard. Half-court man-to-man. Here's Joe Bryant, gets to Kaheem Brown. Up top, the far side. Chambers now over to Joe Bryant. Bryant on that left side, drives baseline, floating shot, no good. And for the boards is grabbed by Dockery. Howard out on the break. This is Hawkins. Hawkins moving it around. Nice crossover. Skips it near side. This is Settle. Back out to Hawkins. 16 seconds on the play clock. Hawkins on that left side now brings it up to the right. Nice double team. He finds a wide open Dixon who lays it up. 15-7. TV timeout couldn't be any sooner for Norfolk State.
Yeah, and that was Chambers falling asleep on defense, leaving his man wide open in the lane.
I bragged about these courtside seats, but we're looking behind 6'8". Coach Bob for Norfolk State right in front of me. Kaheem Brown skips it near side to Chambers. Chambers trying to find a cut in Joe Bryant. Here comes Howard on the This is Dockery. Drops it off the wood. His layup is no good, but it's tipped in by Settle.
And these Bison are all over these Spartans tonight, everywhere on the floor. When we watched the film playing against Delaware State, they played a slower, more deliberate game. But it seems like tonight they want to get out and run with these Spartans.
17-7. Coach Jones complained about that last tip-in by Settle. He called offensive goaltending, and the official said they'll look at it during this timeout. Uncle Rel, this is not CIAA basketball. I love my CIAA, but this is fast-paced action for the MEAC tournament. Howard's trying to prove their points against the Spartans tonight, my brother.
Well, you know, I've had a chance to follow the Spartans and a bit more of the MEAC conference this year personally. And you're right, as you alluded to in the beginning of the broadcast, these are bigger men. They take different supplements. They are trained. They're just a bigger specimen all the way around. And you're seeing the higher caliber play up and down the court. And give the Bison a lot of credit. They came to play tonight. The walks that is Joe Bryant and Bankston, we'll have to see how they can get it established. It normally takes some rhythm, and right now the Bison have all the momentum and have the Spartans off balance. I'll be interested to see the kind of adjustments Coach Jones can make. Back to you.
17-7's our score. Leonard Hughes, Kia Bird, Uncle Rel, Terrell Dupree. Bison on top of the Spartans. 2 turnovers for Norfolk State, but Howard's been finding the open person on every possession, KB.
Absolutely. They're running the floor well. I mean, they're playing the passing lanes, not allowing the Spartans to get into their offense.
Jelani Williams into the contest for Howard. Also, OG into the game. He's guarding Joe Bryant. Bryant with the rock moving left to right on your dial. Bryant splits the double team, falls to the ground, kicks it over to Chambers. Chambers with the left hand lays it off to Kaheem Brown. His layup's no good. Got a foul underneath the basket. It's going to be on Howard. It's going to be on number 5. That's Jelani Williams, a 6'5" grad student out of Washington, D.C. Transfer from Penn, KB.
Yeah, there's a few transfers on the floor tonight. We have a transfer from Cornell in number 12. And his name is, Kobe. Kobe Dixon. I'm trying to see past Coach Jones and look at my paper at the same time.
That's
Kobe
right.
Dixon transfer from Cornell University.
You may have to do the play-by-play. Norfolk State inbounding underneath their own basket. They finally get it inbound to Joe Bryant. Bryant on the left side, skips it near side. Dana Tate in the game, misses the wide-open three-pointer, rebounded by Williams. Williams will bring it up for Howard on the left side. Spartans half-court man-to-man. Chambers flashes out to him. Here comes Brown to go. Comes near side, now back to Williams. Williams spinning, jump shot, right elbow is up, rattles around, and good. 19-7, Howard on top of Norfolk State.
Yeah.
Joe Bryant will bring it up. Howard, half-court, man-to-man. This is Bryant, top of the key. Being pressured now over to Dana Tate. Dana Tate being guarded by Bryce Harris. We got a foul call away from the ball. They're going to call that one on Okoji.
That's right. You said it perfectly. I'm so sure.
So that team foul is the 3rd team foul on Howard. Kaheem Brown inbounding. 4th team foul on Howard. We got the stat guru sitting right next to me. So we got a little cheating today, KB. Yeah. Dana Tate, nice move to the lane. Throws up the reverse layup off the glass and good.
And you know, Dana Tate, one of my favorite players on this Spartans team. Joe Bryant gets the spotlight on him all the time, but Dana Tate has a complete game.
So the big man, Dixon, has it over to Robinson. Robinson goes up. Shot was partially deflected by Terry Jones, but he got a piece of that arm. So going to the line for Howard is Khalil Robinson, the 6-foot senior out of Columbia. He has 2 shots coming to him. And Robinson for the year is a 75% free throw shooter as he hits his first of 2.
And Dana Tate and Chris Bankston have their hands full on the glass tonight against this very long Howard team. I mean, not in the game, but Settle is seriously 7 feet tall, all arms and legs.
So Robinson hits 2 foul shots, 21-9. Howard University on top of Norfolk State. Live from the Burr, Landon Hughes, Kia Bird, Uncle Rel, Terrell DeCree. Kaim Brown hits jump shot from 8 feet right side, no good. We're going to have a loose ball foul call, and they're going to hit Chris Bankston going over the back. That's Chris Bankston's first personal foul. Off the bench is Chris Ford to get Bankston. That's actually Bankston's second foul.
Very early in the game for Chris Bankston to be playing with 2 fouls. And you see, right away, the Spartans aren't trying to press this Bison team.
All right, so Howard with the rock, moving right to left in the dial. This is Williams, skips it far side to Robinson. Nice bounce pass into the post to Harris. Skips it back up top to Williams. Now, it's Harris. Low stutter step, layup is up and good in the lane.
Oh, yeah.
23-9, all Bison. Kaim Brown driving up, misses the shot. Loose ball snatched down by Harris. Here comes Robinson and Howard. Robinson comes back to Williams. Nice stutter step in the lane. Goes in, had the ball stripped away from him by Norfolk State. Here's Joe Bryant. Joe moving in traffic, goes up, shot off the glass, no good. Loose ball goes out of bounds. No, it's saved by Howard, and here come the Bison the other way. Moving right to left, track action. Robinson goes up in traffic, lays it into Harrison. He puts it up with the left hand. Coach Bob Jones sells a timeout, 25-9. 25-9.
These Spartans look stunned. I'm watching their face as they come back to the bench. They don't know what's going on.
Are we watching a basketball game or a hockey game?
I mean, or a track race. This is like a triathlon. A lot going on right now.
12:44 in the game, 25-9. Howard all over top of the Spartans. Uncle Rel.
Well, this is any day, any night in the MEAC on the hardwood. Here it is. You've weathered many storms, and I'm speaking to the Spartans. The Bison have come to play. Their building is electric. But you got to execute. Coach Jones got to dig in the bag of tricks, and you got to see where your fortitude is. If you're the Spartans, yes, a very, very large deficit right now early in the first half. But, they're a big boy squad. We're going to see. But, hey, salute to the Bison. It's relentless right now. We got a whole lot of game left. Back to you.
Well, 25-9, 12:44 to go in the first half. All Howard, and it's equal scoring, KB. It's not like it's one person dominating. They are basically having their way with the Spartans.
And this is what makes this team dangerous. It could be anybody's night. They're looking for the best shot. They're not looking just to ISO basketball.
Pressure being applied by Howard as Ochi is pressuring Joe Bryant. Bryant has it. He'll walk it up half court. 20 seconds on the play clock. Bryant moving to that left side. Dana Tate runs that screen, and we're going to have a foul call on Dana Tate moving screen. That foul on Norfolk State will be their team fourth.
Right. And at this vantage part, you see the intensity in the defense eyes. A joke. Say it for me one more time.
Okay. I'm not even going to say it because you asked me to say it. So Howard has the ball. We'll come back to that. But
okay.
Definitely playing great defense.
Right.
Near side, this is Robinson. Now takes it over to Williams. Williams on that far side, working with Dana Tate. His bounce pass to the post. Swings at Robinson left side. Wide open as Harris thought about the three. Hits Williams on the right side. Williams shot off the board. Harris gets the rebound and puts in the basket. So Harris, the trash man, 6 points off of the bench. 27-9.
4 passes on that offensive possession and 1 offensive rebound. These Spartans have got to box out.
It's OC Okoji.
Okay. Well, Mr. Okoji, who's guarding Joe Bryant, MEAC Player of the Year, 2 years running, is locked in.
Kaheem Brown with that running shot. Norfolk State finally breaks into double digits, 27-11. 11 minutes to go in the first half. On the far side, here's the big man. This is Dickerson, had his pocket stripped. Norfolk State 3-on-2. Far side, Kaheem Brown, 3-pointers up and good. 5 straight points by Kaheem Brown. But KB, look at his run.
Yeah, I just noticed it's very gingerly run. Uncle Rel told us about a high ankle sprain that he's been nursing these last couple of weeks, and you kind of see him laboring a little bit.
All right, so Howard with the Rocks leading by 16. Actually, leading by 13, excuse me. Here's Williams. Nice find underneath the Harris. Harris goes up in traffic. He walked a little bit, but they're going to call a foul on Norfolk State. That foul's going to be on number 32 for Norfolk State. That's Chris Ford, the fifth-year senior out of Chesterfield, Virginia. 27-14, 10-40, all Howard.
Yeah.
You're listening to the KRSB Network. We're going to warm up a little bit because the Burr, they got the air conditioner on right in front of the.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Burr.
We'll be back after this right here on the KRSB Network.
But he's a force down low with his touch around the rim as well. And now he's starting to take his defensive presence. We can be the best team going into the MEAC tournament next year and be the luckiest as well. Big game, so we're looking forward to that game. I know it's going to be an exciting atmosphere as always, on Zoom. So we're looking forward to that.
1-point ball game. Here's Christian Ames. The shot at the buzzer. Up and good. And he stands there and poses.
For center top 10.
Wow.
Join the hashtag HBCU Madness Challenge and show off your school pride with KRSB Network's mobile media radio broadcast. HBCU Sports. Anytime, any place, any play. Celebrate the madness with KRSB Network.
And welcome back to the Burr. Orlando Hughes, Kia Bird, Uncle Rel, Terrell Dupree. All Bison, KB. All Bison.
Bison have come out tonight with a game plan to jump on these Spartans early. I mean, the Spartans are full of offensive threats, but so far, nobody's been able to get into a rhythm in this game. Their defense is swarming. That zone defense, we've seen it trouble the Spartans time and time again. And with these long, big men on Howard, it's definitely clogging up the lane and not allowing them to utilize Bankston and Tate as they're normally able to do.
Uncle Rel, Howard is game to play tonight.
Well, they're executing, but what I see more importantly, on top of the beautiful colors and just the amazing just coverage, always good to see the historically black college get national television coverage. But what I'm seeing is the teams really brisk getting back on the defensive side of the ball for the Bison. And then what you're also seeing, executing inside, they're controlling the boards. I mean, all over the place. Here on senior night, these guys are not playing, and Norfolk State has certainly got to make some adjustments. But remember, adjustments does not mean that Howard stopped scoring. They haven't seemed to not figure out why the basket doesn't look like an ocean to them right now, and Norfolk State's got to change it up defensively.
So prior to that timeout, Shy Harris was fouled by Chris Ford. He'll be at the line to shoot two. Harris, 62% foul shot shooter, shooting two. He's the leading scorer off the bench. His first shot rattles around and good.
And Harris looks like a little bit of a throwback with his straight back braids.
Yeah, Harris is definitely endorsing his inner glove in the NBA as he hits a pair. So, foul shot percentage doesn't mean anything. KB, I said 64%. He hits both. So he's doing his thing. 29-14 is our score. Here's Norfolk State. Brown drops it up top to Ford. Now over to Dana Tate. Half-court man-to-man being applied by Howard. Here's Kaheem Brown. Kaheem Brown driving baseline. Adjusts his shot. No good. Ford gets the rebound. Goes up in traffic. No foul call, but he tips it back for a second opportunity. And Chris Ford making things happen for Norfolk State. 29-16. This is Hawkins back into the game for Howard University. It's Hawkins, Settle, Wood, and Harris. Here's Wood driving, loses the ball, and it's deflected off of a Spartan foot. So Howard will have the rock. They'll reset the shot clock to 14 seconds, 9:57 here in the first half.
And you notice right away, Orlando, that Coach Jones has given the keys to Kaheem Brown and taken the ball out of Joe Bryant's hand at the point.
So that inbound pass, they found Doherty stepped on the sideline. Kids in their big feet. Turnover on Howard. That's their second turnover, 29-16. Full court pressure. They are all over nephew Joe Bryant, KB.
All over him.
Here's Bryant on the right side. Brings it up. 9:46 gets into Kaheem. Chambers set to check in. They throw it into Ford. Nearly had it deflected away. Loose ball comes out to Brown. Brown on that left side finds somebody on the baseline. Jump shot up, no good. Rebounded by Joe Bryant. Nice pass to Kaheem. Misses an easy bunny. And it's rebounded by the big man, Settle. Here's Ola Hawkins. They find Wood. Wood in that left side three-point. Baseline is good again.
Wood is lethal in that corner.
32-16. The freshman Beal set to check in for Norfolk State, as well as Chambers. This is Kaheem Brown for Norfolk State. Swings it over to the far side. This is Darrell Anderson. Spartans missed the shot. Here comes Howard. This is Hawkins. Hawkins, nice pass to Harris. He touches it back out. The Teague, his three-pointer from the baseline is up and good again. 19-point advantage for Howard University.
And if you're a bet man, I'm betting on that corner for Howard. They are not missing tonight from that corner.
They are not. Kaheem Brown up to four. Ford guarded by Harris. Backdoor to Anderson. Anderson splits it over. Joe Bryant, three-pointer from the left corner is up and good for Joe Bryant.
And that has to feel good for Joe Bryant to finally get a clean shot off and see it go through the hoop.
Nice give and go. Step back by Doherty. No good. Rebounded by Dana Tate. Tate now to Joe Bryant. He's getting calls. Joe Bryant splits the traffic, kicks it back to Ford. Ford swings it out to Dana Tate. Nice cutoff by Howard defensively. They come near side to Kaheem Brown. Here's Kaheem inside. Beautiful go to Anderson. Missed the layup. He puts his hand on his head. We got another media timeout, KB. 35-19 is our score. All Bison. All Bison, but we'll keep it here.
And we talk about, the target that the Spartans have on their back, reigning MEAC champions the last couple of years. They have the toughest schedule throughout the season. Playing number one teams like Houston, Baylor. They've been battle tested, but this Howard team is not impressed with their resume. They came to play tonight.
They came to play. 13 of 18 from the floor, 72%. 5 of 7 from downtown. 4 of those 5, have been from that right side baseline there. And when a team is shooting 70%, you are playing absolutely no defense.
Lights out.
No defense, Uncle Rail.
Well, they are struggling to get back. You are seeing a bit of a hobbled Joe Bryant. So on the perimeter, it's a struggle there. But what you're also seeing is, you're right, there is no defense for that blistering assault that's from beyond the arc. I think you said 4 of 7. Hey, again, I'm seeing it in transition, and they're going to positions. It's almost an aerial assault. So right now, there's nothing you can do for that iron dome of the shots raining down on the Spartans. But what you have to do, again, you got a second half, hopefully, but what Norfolk State's got to do at this point is get stops. You got to get stops, and now I guess it's time to pull out Uncle Rail's favorite. It's the charity stripe hour. Right now, you've got to get to that line, make the clock your friend, because as long as Howard can sit back there and sit in a yacht and throw it in the basket from out in the Atlantic Ocean, it's going to be a long night. Back to you.
Definitely feel like the Atlantic Ocean, as KB's getting text messages of people snapping us on TV with the two of us freezing.
Oh my goodness.
freezing
My
over there.
posture is probably terrible because I'm trying to warm up.
Got both hands in the pocket. 35-19. Howard on top of Norfolk State.
I mean, we're cold, but this Bison team is scorching hot
Yeah, they're
tonight.
definitely hot. They are hot. They're being led by Bryce Harris, the 6'4 sophomore out of Brentwood, New York. He came off the bench. He has 8 points. Doherty has 6 points. Wood with 2 3-pointers, 6 points there. He's making things happen for Norfolk State, shooting 8 of 24 from the field, 33% KB. They're 1 of 3 from 2 of 6 from downtown, and 1 of 3 from the field.
And we see Norfolk State get set into their full court press, trying to slow down this Bison team who's normally not a running team.
Right. So Howard comes out with Dockery, Settle, Wood, Hawkins, and Harris. Norfolk State has Bryant, Anderson, Tate, Kaheem Brown, and Ford on the floor. Here comes Howard with Doherty. Swings it over to Williams. That's actually Hawkins, pardon me. Hawkins moving around. Norfolk State falls back into a 2-3. Now they go into a man-to-man defense. 13 seconds on the play clock. They swing it over the far side to Wood. His step back 3-pointer from the top of the key. No good. Loose ball comes out to Hawkins for Howard. They'll reset. They try to throw it underneath. Williams now has it right side. 3-pointers up. No good. Battle for the loose ball is pulled down by Chambers for Norfolk State. Joe Bryant at the top of the key. Half court man-to-man being played by Howard. They swing it over to the freshman George Beal. Beal now to Bryant. 13 seconds play clock. Howard extending that defense. Bryant having problems handling the while. This is Dana Tate near side. Dana Tate working on Williams. Deep 3-pointer right side. It's up. No good. Loose ball comes down to Chambers. Chambers outlet to the wing to Bryant. Bryant driving into traffic. Now gets it dropped off to Chambers, who takes it home and jams. And you're going to have an offensive foul call on Joe Bryant as he discharged over Kobe Dixon.
Yeah. And Joe Bryant right now trying to force the action, trying to get some movement with these Spartans. Unfortunately, Dixon, a much bigger body, was able to hold his ground.
You talk about Kenneth Blakely, the fourth-year coach for Howard University. His team is game tonight, KB.
Yeah.
Game.
There was a lot of chatter about that last game where Norfolk State lost on a technical foul call. I guess Howard's objective is to prove that it wasn't a fluke last time.
Here's Hawkins. Skips it far side. Now they get to Williams. Williams working, head down. Try to get it to Wood. Wood has to throw it up at the 3-point buzzer. Barely hits the rim. Loose ball comes down to Beal for Norfolk State. Beal on the left side brings it across the half-court line. Now drops it over to Chambers. You heard somebody say, take the ball from Beal. Dana Tate, far side wing, guarded by Hawkins. Now Brian gets it. Joe splitting traffic, had his pockets picked from behind. Here comes Howard. Their little outlet. They have the numbers. This is Hawkins, but the Spartans get back. Hawkins launches it up. No good. Loose ball comes down to Beal. 1-on-1. Beal. Williams goes up. Shot off the glass. No good. And we have a foul call on Howard. Oh, yeah, it's going to be on number 5, Jelani Williams, a 6'5" grad student out of Penn.
Yeah.
At the line for Norfolk State will be George Beal Jr., the freshman out of Suffolk, Virginia.
Yeah, the freshman going one-on-one with the senior.
And I remember when we were in Atlanta, we were ruffling Miguel Lloyd's stones about where that school was, and Uncle Rel came to the rescue and said it's a newer school as the first shot is up and good by Beal. Beal from the season, 78%, KB.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of action as a freshman for this Spartans team. A lot of times you see him come off the bench and relieve Joe Bryant.
So Beal hits the first. Looking at the lineups for Norfolk State.
So far, it's Coach Jones going pretty deep into his bench tonight.
You got Jack Dumbia in the game. The 6'6" sophomore out of Atlanta, Maryland, right around here. So here's a little return home visit to the DMV.
Mom probably dropped off at dinner before the game.
1 of 2 for Beal, 35-20. Spartans down by 15. 5:39 here in the first half. Here's Howard. Right to left on your dial. Up top, Williams. Howard moving that ball very swiftly. We were ready to come down here and said Howard's very deliberate. They want to slow the pace down. It's been everything but that, KB.
Oh, yes.
On the far side, Howard drops it inside. This is Harris. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Williams has to launch a three, top of the circle, off the back of the iron. Loose ball comes down to Terrence Jones for Norfolk State. Actually, that's Tyrese Jenkins with the rebound. Jenkins on the right side. Coach Jones way at the half-court line, calling out plays for Norfolk State. Dana Tate on that left side. Dana looking to make a move, working on Williams. His spin, nothing's there. They come near side to Dumia, and Dumia is going to be called for steps. Coach Jones telling him, make a decision and go.
Right. And Coach Jones choosing to keep Chris Bankston on the bench with those 2 early fouls, knowing that this could be a long evening for the Spartans. He's going to need him in this second half.
Until you mentioned Chris, I had forgot about it, KB. I had forgot because he's been on the bench for so long.
Right.
Near side, this is Robinson. Now over to Williams. Far side, Settle. His step back three-pointer up in the air and good.
I mean, when you see the size of Settle in terms of his length and his weight, kind of a KD frame, and he shows that he can stretch that defense and shoot that three.
I'm going to call that a long two-pointer with the rock. Driving for Norfolk State. Shots up far side. No good. Howard with the rebound. And here comes Williams for Howard. This is Williams. Working. Skips it over the far side to Robinson. Half-court man, actually 2-3 being applied by Norfolk State. Harris catches, turns, and shoots. Now, I called him the glove, but he's like a little Kawhi there. He's coming off the bench. He's the leading scorer for Howard. His 12 points, KB.
I mean, lockdown defense, showing he has that soft touch, that little 15-footer.
39-20. Dana Tate, top of the key. His three-pointer from downtown. Off the mark. Loose ball pulled down by Robinson, the smallest man on the court. Here comes Howard. Robinson to Settle. Thought about the three. Williams will put up the three from the near side. Rattles around. Shots no good. Harris grabs the board. Now he throws it in. Shot up off the glass. No good. Loose ball pulled down by Norfolk State.
And Coach Jones nearly jumping out of his shirt on that last play. He wanted that traveling call.
Here's Dumia, swings it out to Jenkins. Jenkins deep shot off the glass, no good. Rebounded, pulled down by Harris for Howard. Harris is making an impact. Here's Settle, looking to move. Settle spins, loses control, shot off the glass. Can't see. Coach Jones blocking everything. Here comes Beal for Norfolk State. Beal goes up, misses the shot. Harris gets the board, and he's tied up, but he gets it away to Osaki. Settle three-pointer left side is up and good.
There goes that corner again.
Yeah, they are getting blitzed. And we apologize to those of you listening to the broadcast. Coach Rob Jones is standing literally in front of the broadcast.
Either he's going to have to put on a jersey and check in the game or move.
Here's Williams with the steal, takes it in, lays it in. 44-20, 24-point advantage for Howard. They are blowing the defending champions out of the building.
And these Spartans look like deer in headlights, not knowing how to react to being in this position in the game.
Don't talk about deer, KB. We got to drive back home. But yes, I agree with your analogy. In the lane, Beal turnaround shot, no good. Settle with the rebound for Howard. Howard trying to expand this 24-point advantage. 44-20 is the score. This Settle thought about a deep three-pointer. Robinson will put up his three-pointer, and it's good. Coach Rob Jones calls a timeout. 47-20, 140 first half. Uncle Howard all over top of Norfolk State.
You know, P&O, this is shocking. Just to see the lackluster performance thus far in the first half. Now, you know, no team likes to get out to such a deficit. I believe last week the Spartans erased a 29-point deficit just to enter force overtime in a ball game. But it obviously expels a lot of energy. No excuses. The Howard University Bison are showing you exactly why they're vying for that number one seed. It's really nothing you can say. Every team has their nights, P&O. You all have played ball, and I'm sure everyone listening and watching, they understand. But when you're at the top, you don't have off nights like this. And they've been a little bit of almost a faltering towards the end of the season for Norfolk State. You want to be purring on all cylinders when you go into postseason play, and it hasn't been that for Norfolk State. So, I don't know. That's a good thing I don't coach. Hey, I'm here with the KRSB Network. Back to you.
And Howard University's on a 12-0 run. Norfolk State has not scored in the last 4:05, KB.
I mean, it's showing on the scoreboard, but it's also showing in the body language of these Spartans. I mean, they've been known to be the bully on the block, the bully of the MEAC. And right now, the bully is getting a taste of their own medicine. I mean, we have to talk about players like Bryce Harris, who's doing it all for the Bison, rebounding, playing defense, staying active around the basket, finding his teammates in the right spot. I mean, this Howard team is moving like a machine right now.
I mean, yeah, they are, KB, and they're keeping their players fresh.
Right.
They've played 11 players in this first half, Okarel. 11 players. 47 20s are scored. 140 left here in the first half. Spartans are crying to smell that Chesapeake Bay and that James River Bridge to head back home because they need to do something in the second half. I have never seen Norfolk State get ran out of the building as they are tonight.
Right. But we know the Spartans are a battle-tested team. I mean, they've played a lot of top seeds, not just in the MEAC, but across the country. So we can't count them out just yet. But right now, going into the locker room, they've got a lot to discuss.
So a 1-2-2 full-court pressure being applied by Howard. Norfolk State has 4 men across the three-point circle. Howard pressuring Norfolk State. Kaheem Brown has it. Kaheem is being guarded by Doherty. Kaheem on the left side. And he said he was not feeling well because he was kind of limping and favoring that left leg. Gets up top to Chambers. Chambers turns face, skips it over far side. Dana Tate thought about the three-pointer, now puts up another one from the left side. And Dana Tate gets himself rolling with his first three-pointer of the contest.
And we know Dana Tate as a player who can score in bunches. So look for the Spartans to continue to try to feed him and get him going.
Here's Hawkins for Howard. Spartans in a half-court 2-3. Hawkins skips it near side. Wood open the corner. Three-pointers up and good. Wood is spotting that three-point line, standing behind it. Howard's rotating the ball, and he's making Norfolk State pay.
I mean, this young man is a sniper, corner to corner, hitting three-pointers.
50-23, Howard University. Kaheem Brown trying to get it to Joe Bryan on the left side. Bryan being hassled by Hawkins. Bryan goes in the lane, has pockets pink. Loose ball. Kaheem Brown working underneath. It's going to be a foul. Should not be a 1-and-1 on Howard. That's going to be Howard's 6th team foul. I don't know if they're going to say it's on the floor or shooting. They will give Kaheem Brown 2 shots. Timeout.
And we've seen time and time again going down the floor, Elijah Hawkins absolutely denying Joe Bryant the basketball. I mean, they're forcing the pass to Joe Bryant, and unfortunately, it's not there.
Yeah, it's not there. Okarel, 34.7 seconds here in the first half. For the green and gold side of our broadcast, they aren't enjoying this part. So why don't you tell them what's coming up during Okarel's halftime show?
Well, P&O, what I can tell you is that obviously it's a good reprieve to be able to take your mind off of the game if you're a Spartan fan. And what you can expect in Uncle Rail's corner is a lacrosse team, and historically black college and university lacrosse team, getting ready to join the ranks where there are only a few. And then arrests have been made down at Clark Atlanta University in the murder of a baseball player, and we'll talk about that. And of course, we want to also touch base with the importance of Hugh Jackson and the impact of Black head coaches in the historically Black college and university ranks, and what we can do to help covet and recruit more of them. A whole lot more on Uncle Rail's Corner. Now back to you all, K&O on the KRSB Network.
All right, Kyrie Brown, the 78% foul shot shooter, hits his first of two. 50, 23, 50 seconds, actually 34 seconds in the first half remaining. Orlando Hughes, Kia Bird, Uncle Rail, Terrell Decree live from the Burr at Howard. Kyrie Brown hits a pair. 50-25 is the score. Here comes Howard, right to left. Hawkins with the rock for the Bison. Hawkins being guarded by Dubia. Dubia out on him. 20 seconds on the game clock. 14 on the shot clock. Hawkins top of the key on that right side. Howard's trying to set up Wood there, KB, on the far side. A quick swing to him, and he has another three-pointer. 4 seconds. Here's Hawkins, step back three-pointers up and rattles around. Loose ball picked up by Howard, no good. Here's another tip back in, and that's by the big man, Kobe Dixon, at the half.
The
50.
Cornell transfer.
52-25. Coach Rob Jones, hands clenched, going to that bench. And that locker, excuse me, KB.
I wouldn't want to be in there at all, because we might be able to hear. We might be able to pick it up on this crowd, Mike, because I have a feeling it's going to get loud in that Spartans locker room.
Wow. So Howard University are putting on a display this evening. 52-25. So, and we got to pay attention, Uncle Rel. We got to pay attention. I got a stat for you to bring. We're going to step away for a quick 60-second break. And when we come back, it's Uncle Rel's Corner right here on the KRSB Radio Network.
Mobile marketing made easy. KRSB delivers a unique way to market your products and services and reach your customers. Whether it's a victory, the HBCU Game of the Week, or something else, we've got you covered.
As an HBCU athlete, you have a unique perspective that can help others. At KRSB Network, we want to hear your story and share it with the world. Whether it's your favorite moment, the years you participated, or how your HBCU prepared you for life, we want to hear your story.
You are listening to MEAC Basketball on the KRSB Network.
And welcome back to the Burr on the campus of Howard University. Bison on top, 52-25. Halftime. It's Uncle Rel's halftime show. Take it away, Uncle Rel.
Thank you so much and welcome to Uncle Rel's Corner here on the KRSB Network, and we're going to get right into it. Hugh Jackson, who spent several decades in the NFL as one of the few Black coaches before transitioning to the HBCU ranks, spoke on the NFL and how it still lags in reference to Black head coach hiring. Jackson, who coached at Tennessee State and now at Grambling State, is calling overlooking coaches and considering HBCUs a travesty, or considering coaches for HBCUs a travesty. Despite their talents and expertise, minority coaches continue to be overlooked and underrepresented in the NFL and Power 5 rankings. Jackson said recently, and I am calling on coaches to pivot and consider coaching at HBCUs. Not only will this give them an opportunity to hone their craft, but it can definitely help bring more attention and resources back to the great institutions. So, of course, we know that's exactly what Deion Sanders did for Jackson State before moving on to other endeavors. And we like to hear that from coaches who are already in the trenches trying to recruit that talent, which also helps get those coaches that much needed experience that they're often told that they don't have at the higher levels. Switching gears now, Atlanta police have announced it has arrested a suspect in the killing of a Clark Atlanta baseball player. According to Atlanta police, sophomore Jatan Sterling was shot and killed Tuesday afternoon at 809 Beckwood Street Southwest, less than a mile from the CAU campus. Officers responded to the scene at approximately 1:42 Eastern Time and discovered Sterling with a gunshot injury. Police said he was found to be not alert, conscious, or breathing, and he was pronounced deceased on the scene. There was a candlelight vigil on Clark Atlanta University and also a memorial from the baseball team in reference to Jaton Sterling. So prayers out to the Clark Atlanta University family and to Jaton Sterling's family as well. And switching gears here before we get back to the game, currently there are only 5 active HBCU varsity lacrosse teams in the nation. They are the Delaware State women, Howard University women, the Hampton University men, and the men's and women's team at the University of the District of Columbia. However, a group of women at Morgan State hope to propel their lacrosse team to the varsity ranks. HBCU Sports spoke with Jay Williams, and spoke with Monet Williams. And personally, Monet said that I was introduced with one of my teammates, Courtney Floyd, and it was a pretty bad and mentally draining spot for me, but lacrosse and the exposure to lacrosse helped levy the pain and the insecurities that she had, which helped propel her and her love for the sport. And of course, anytime a historically Black college or university has a chance to break into that realm where we aren't necessarily represented, it's always a win. So congratulations to Morgan State University on their ascent and their lacrosse program to the varsity level. This has been Uncle Rel's Corner. Now back to the Bison and Norfolk State and the Spartans in this MEAC battle for first place here on the KRSB Network.
Invest in your future now. Enjoy the luxurious lifestyles of wealth building and financial literacy with stocks versus sneakers and the Bank on IM, NIL intern and collaborator program for high school and college student athletes. To schedule an interview, you must complete the stocks versus sneakers market survey. Text Bank on IM to 833-663-1586 for more information. That's Bank on IM to 833-663-1586 for more information.
Attention all sports fans. Are you ready for in-depth coverage of historically Black college and university sports and professional sports? Look no further than HBCU Pro Sports Media Association. We're a national media organization dedicated to covering the stories and achievements of HBCU student athletes and pro players. As a member, you'll have access to a community of local and national Black journalists, all working together to increase coverage of HBCU programs. Join us today. Be a part of the Legion of HBCU and Pro Sports Reporters. Visit us at hbcuprosportsmedia.com and stay informed on the latest HBCU and pro sports news.
And welcome back. 52-25, Orlando Hughes, Kia Burr, Uncle Rel, Terrell Decree. As always, we thank Uncle Rel for those halftime segments. And Uncle Rel, while you were talking, they showed the only all-Black swim team in America, the Howard University Bison swim team. And that was very nice, KB, to see them as you look very cold.
Oh, I am very cold. I mean, we're sitting right in front of a vent. And I've been looking for the little switch to close it, but I still haven't found it. But, very exciting to see the Howard swim team. They've gotten a lot of buzz. Uncle Rel has talked about them on his halftime show. He's always bringing us the latest in HBCU news. As always, we try to encourage everyone listening to make sure they subscribe to Frozen Cups and Hot Chips, his podcast on YouTube. You can find him on Instagram and Twitter. He only speaks to the experts. I promise you, each episode you will not be disappointed.
No, you will not be disappointed, Uncle Rel. And you had some stuff on your podcast that was circulating a little bit earlier this week. Tell us a little bit about that in the studio that we're all familiar with and on the campus of Norfolk State University. And you went into the studios of WNSB.
Well, you guys, you always have me so humble. The check is in the mail with that shameless plug. Yes. Tidewater Terrell of Frozen Cups and Hot Chips. Just a program that touches on the community. We do only speak to the experts, never opinionated. And yes, as a alum of Norfolk State University and members that came through that mass communication track, I had a chance to speak with the WNSB Hot 91.1 Fresh Start Morning Show with Maynard Scale, station manager at the helm, and sprinkled with some great dynamic talent. DJB, who hails out of Philadelphia, who's been in the Tidewater area, one of the great musical, just icons that we have as a DJ here with his experience. Cheryl Wilkerson, who is also a radio veteran in the Hampton Roads and Tidewater community. And then they also at Norfolk State always have been known for integrating the student body into the program and touching the equipment. So the younger generation of the jocks and the staff that they have in there to enrich the show just kind of brings a whole plethora of opportunity to touch all of the demographics. And yes, the Fresh Start Morning Show allowed Frozen Cups and Hot Chips cameras some exclusive access. We were able to get in between the talk breaks, see how they put the show together, get you through your morning and evening traffic, and then also sat down with the station manager about how he makes his acquisitions, the programming, how you generate revenue and the future of that radio station and beyond. So yes, on Frozen Cups and Hot Chips, please go on to YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of the platforms, and please go and see that episode with WNSB and the Fresh Start Morning Show, K&O, and the entire KRSB network. Thank you all so much. We are always cross partners in every endeavor. And yes, thank you very much for the support. And now let's get back on this hardwood with a team that is on the road and thinks that maybe they're on vacation and forgot that they had to play a game. What we got to expect in this second half with you two?
Well, listen, the crowd is live. The pep band is right here at Howard University. They got about 400 cheerleaders. They have cheerleaders up in the crowd. I see two sets. And hold on to get KB's microphone back on. But 400 cheerleaders. There were other cheerleaders as I made a quick dash from Uncle Rel's halftime show to the restroom. And so what we expect, we don't know, Uncle Rel, because get this. Norfolk State was down 50-22 versus NC Central. Chris Bankston sat on the bench the majority of the first half after picking up his second foul. So, but if Howard continues to shoot as well as they have, and we'll go over that in a few, because this is an elongated halftime show because of the television broadcast. We hope you all are looking at the broadcast, but listening to the better broadcasters, Terrell McCree, the magnanimous Kia Bird, and my boy behind, Orlando Hughes, here in the KRSB Network. But we don't know. I want to see if it's like that CIAA tournament where the one side of the court was hot and every team that shot on that side was doing their thing, and the other side, the teams got a little bit chilly.
We'll have to see, but this Howard team looks very comfortable in this gymnasium. I mean, again, this is my first time in this building, but it's not that big, but it's completely packed. Their fans have come out to support them this last home game, senior night, for these Bison as they transition and getting ready to go into this CIAA tournament with hopes of winning it. I mean, I'm sure they've talked about, the fact that if they win tonight, then they secure that number one spot, which automatically gets you a bye going into that MEAC tournament. So this game is more than just senior night. It's for the tournament, and it's for that bye, and it's for that, security of knowing that you're going to, go into the tournament in a good position. We're watching Norfolk State kind of slowly walk their way back out to the court. I'm looking at their faces. Are they game? Are they?
I don't know. I mean, Bankston looks like he is dying to get back in there. He has something to prove.
Right.
He's ready to go. Dana Tate hasn't really got going off the way that he's capable of. And we'll see. I mean, Howard's been game. Wood has been on fire from the corner. And the man off the bench for Howard University with the rock is Harris.
Harris.
Yeah, excuse me. Bryce Harris. The little Kawhi Leonard clone.
Yeah, and as you mentioned him reminding you of Kawhi, I was watching his face. Same stoic, body language, all about business. He's
Right.
and even Settle. I mean, when we saw Settle coming in, just looking, straight up 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, up and down. But he's strong on the glass and able to stretch that defense. We watched him shoot a corner three, another long range 2-pointer. This is a talented team Howard has here.
Yeah. As we take a quick glance around the MEAC conference, Coppin State over top of Morgan State. They have 2:05 left in that one. Coppin State 74-59. I think these games are final now, KB. I'm sure they can't be running as late as this game because we started after 9 o'clock.
Right.
Merlin Eastern Shore defeated Delaware State 64-58. That Del State team, yeah, I'm with you. That's a team that can cause a little bit of trouble next week.
They could be a bracket buster at the tournament.
Yeah, it's just the 3 games. And then South Carolina State, North Carolina Central. We got no score on that one yet. But Howard, Norfolk State, this is for it all. And if the score remains the same, congratulations, Howard University.
I'm interested to see, we talked about we haven't seen a lot of Norfolk State live, but Uncle Rel has. And he talked about the resilience of this Norfolk State team. We know that they have a target on their back. We know everybody wants to knock them off the throne and establish themselves as the powerhouse in the MEAC. But so far in the last few years, people have tried, many have tried, but no one's been able to successfully dethrone them. Tonight, Howard University has the opportunity to do that and secure this #1 spot.
Right, and we'll go over that a little bit more in the second half of the last time a team has won 3 consecutive MEAC conference titles and regular season championships was North Carolina A&T.
And 2-year player of the year in Joe Bryant.
Right. So Jones, Bankston, Bryant, Jenkins, Chambers for Norfolk State, Doherty, Settle, Odom, Wood, and Hawkins for Howard. Howard will have the rock to start off things. This is Hawkins moving left to right on your dial. Norfolk State half-court defense, man-to-man, near side to Woods. Banks has stepped out on Woods that time, so they want to end that quickly. Howard will turn the rock over as Hawkins was trying to find a cutting Odom, and Odom unable to control the rock. There's Joe Bryant bringing it up. Coach Jones says, come on, pick up the pace now. On the near side, right in front of us, is Bryant. Skips it into Chambers. Chambers working one-on-one with Wood. Isaiah looking, gets it over to Joe Bryant. Joe Bryant, 3-point up from the corner, no good. Battle for the loose ball, controlled by Jenkins, and he puts it in for Norfolk State.
Jenkins doing a great job staying active around the basket, able to secure that offensive rebound and get the putback.
Derek Jones playing defense on Hawkins, so that's a little switch up from Joe Bryant to Jones on the near side. Chris Banks steps out on him. Now here's a mismatch. They go inside. Odom working on Bryant, puts it in there, and we're going to have a reach and foul on Joe Bryant, and he had all ball. They're going to call it. Wow, that's a crazy call. Joe Bryant, like me, they end up giving it to Terrence Jones, his second.
He was doing his best impersonation of a wax figure, staying in position, trying to prove to the ref that it was all ball.
Here's Odom, throws it out to Hawkins on the far side. Doherty, he's 3-pointer top of the key. Up, no good. Battle for loose ball, pulled down by Jones for Norfolk State. Here comes Norfolk State, 52-27, 18-51. Jones going in, drives in on Odom, and he's going to pick up a foul on Odom, Shy Odom. That will be Shy's third personal foul.
And so far, the Spartans coming out with much better energy, forcing the action, pushing the pace of this game.
So going to the line for the Spartans, Terrence Jones, the 6'3" sophomore out of Trenton, New Jersey. I could say it the way that they say it. Trenton. All right, Greg Willis, if you're listening, you can't say anything. This is our broadcast now. Will be ebonically challenged as can be as he hits one of two. Got nothing but love for you, Greg. And Jones hits a pair. So Norfolk State coming out here with an early spurt offensively, 52-29, 18-45. Here's Doherty, guarded by Jenkins. Picks up his dribble, sips it out to Hawkins. Over to Wood. Now they get it back over to Hawkins. Spartans half court man-to-man, 18-35, second half. Wood on that far side. Banks steps out on him. Now to Odom. Now Wood slides to Hawkins. Hawkins D three-pointer off, and the rebound will be pulled down by Bankston. Here comes Norfolk State. Joe Bryant. Joe in the air to the corner. There's Jones now to Jenkins. Nearly lost it, and he'll get it back to Bryant. Bryant has the advantage on the taller settles if he can make a move. Nice help out by Hawkins for Howard. Here's Bryant, gets by Settle. Deep off balance shot, kissed off the glass. Didn't call that one, Ma. 52-31. Norfolk State now making it a 21-point advantage by Howard. Here's Woods, gets by. Nice drop off to Odom. Odom will skip it back out. Touch pass, and they move it around. Wood open for a three-pointer right side. Left it short. Odom taps it back out, and Howard will reset. Here's Settle, D three-pointer, no good, and rebounded by Jones. So if I'm Coach Blankley and Norfolk State scores again on this possession, KB, I'm calling a quick timeout.
I would. You see, he has a couple of players at the scorer's table now getting ready to come into the game. Not liking what he's seeing so far at the start of the second half.
Bankston drops off to Bryant. Nice defense by Howard as they help out. Chambers three-pointer from the left side, no good. Ran down his loose ball. No, it goes out of bounds off of Woods. Possession arrow. Actually, ball will be Norfolk State. Kaim Brown coming to get Jones. Actually, Jenkins. I don't know if Jenkins a little bit sick or just exerted himself that much.
I'm not sure, but I'm still looking at this very gimpy run of Kaim Brown. You could tell he's hurting a little bit, but trying to tough it out for his team.
Spartans on a 6-0 run to start the second half. Here's Joe Bryant looking to back down the smaller Hawkins. His spin move baseline's up, no good. Loose ball bounce, rebounded by Chambers. Chambers put back is no good, but we have a foul call on a Howard player, and I believe that's big old number 12, Kobe Dickerson. And Kobe Dixon, excuse me, not Dickerson, Dick's son. Don't call no black woman's child by a wrong name. That's his first. So to the line for Norfolk State is Isaiah Chambers. Isaiah is a 6'7" junior out of Chesapeake.
And Kobe Dixon, a big body for Howard, 6'9", 250. He's never going to be accused of being a track star, though. Doesn't really have very quick lateral movements on defense.
I'm going to leave that alone, but you are right. Chambers' first shot is good. His second shot going to come off the iron, rebounded by Settle for Howard. Here comes Hawkins, 52-32, 20-point advantage for Howard. Hawkins far side. D three-pointer put up, and it's good by Doherty. 55-32. Kaim Brown trying to get to Bankston. Bankston takes it. Here's that one-on-one that we want to see. Bashing up and good by Bankston.
Yeah. Uncle Rel talked about that spin move. Class is in session for Dixon. We just talked about his feet not being that fast on defense. Chris Bankston easily exploiting that mismatch.
So the Spartans are making things happen. And Isaiah Chambers coming out of the game, being replaced by Dana Tate. So at the foul line.
And this is a perk of being right here at courtside. I just heard the conversation between Coach Jones and Chambers and that illegal screen call.
Bankston hits the three-point opportunity, 55-35. Hawkins drives in. Nice kiss off the glass over Bankston. He did not want to pick up his third foul. So,
and that was a little man move, being able to weave through the lane untouched.
So here's Bryant for the Spartans. Half-court man-to-man being applied by Howard. Norfolk State moving right to left on your dial, down by 22. Here's Bankston, right elbow, puts it on the floor, drives by the big man off the glass and good. And they've quickly drawn 2 fouls personally on by Bankston on the big man, Dixon. That's his third personal foul all here in the second half, KB.
We talk about Bankston's athleticism and his ability to get to the basket and create for himself. This is a tough matchup for Dixon tonight.
57-37, Uncle Rel. So you ask, what do we want to see and how these boys look coming out? What do you say so far for the start of the second half if you're a Spartan fan?
I'm so glad that you came to me, Keanu. I'm over here just going bananas waiting on you all. What I do like is that the offense is running through Bankston. You know, there is a beautiful tapestry that happens between the give and go when Joe Bryant is able to find both Dana Tate, but more importantly, Bankston. They are able to slow the offense down and a lot of times get cheap fouls on big men as they're doing and get to the line, which is a win-win. You get to the line and get free points, but most importantly, down by a dub, you get to stop that clock. This is basically the equivalent of taking what the defense gives you and maybe trying to run it a little bit to slow down a high-powered offense, which is that Howard University Bison team. I'm liking what I'm seeing in the adjustments of Rob Jones, but I also see that perimeter shooting for Howard University is still bright hot. So, hey, the adjustments are working, but now it's down to the nitty-gritty. Let's go, y'all. Back to you.
All right, Uncle Rel. 57-37, Bison on top by 20 points. But here in the second half, Howard only has 5 points. Spartans have 12 points. Bankston going to the line for his second three-point opportunity. Norfolk State's 4 of 7 in this half, 57%. Howard just 2 of 6, KB. And you talk about your vantage point and hearing, and you can kind of get into it a little bit with the crowd. You can't say what they said, but but you heard Isaiah Chambers come out with a very
it was colorful.
engaging, colorful words. We talk like that all the time, but we can't do it here on the KRSB Network about that illegal screen.
And, you know, I love the energy that Chris Bankston is playing with right now. He knows that Dixon does not have his speed or athleticism, and the Spartans have got to continue to feed him and feed this matchup. Odom already, Dixon with 3 fouls each, and Odom.
Yeah, so the bigs for Howard University in trouble. Bankston still waiting for the TV timeout to end. Doherty on the floor, Settle, Hawkins, Dixon, and Williams. Spartans have Jones, Bankston, Bryant, Dana Tate, and Kyan Brown on the floor for Norfolk State.
And we talk about the weapons, offensive weapons on this Spartan team. You know, right now, the Spartans recognize that Bankston has the mismatch, and they continue to feed him.
It's a little 2-2-1 pressure applied by Norfolk State. No problem for that for Howard. This is Doherty near side. Now up to Hawkins. Over to Settle on the far. Dixon comes out. Now this is Williams. Williams with the handle. Picks up his dribble. Now comes near side to Hawkins. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Settle. Williams has it. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Hawkins working one-on-one. He's on Terrence Jones. Picks up his dribble. Williams has to put it up with 2 seconds shot clock on the baseline. Fall away shot. No good. And Kyan Brown in there with the trees gets the boards for Norfolk State. There's Joe Bryant. Nice crossover. His pockets were picked from behind by Hawkins. Hawkins staying with it. Possession will be Norfolk State. 57-38.
And these referees have the patience of Jobs, because this is the second time I've seen a player run up in their face and they just stood their ground and didn't say anything.
It's Dana Tate. His turnaround shot off the glass, off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Howard. Hawkins looking to race it up. He skips it far side. We got a foul call underneath. Let's see who that foul call is on.
It looks like Kyan Brown just ran through Dixon. I think the foul was away from the ball.
That foul on Chris Bankston. That's his third personal foul. Chris Bankston. So, wow. Yeah, you hear the Norfolk State coaches. 57-38. Howard will inbound underneath their own basket.
Normally, we only see the head coach up out their seat, but now we got the assistant and the head coach for the Spartans standing up.
It's settled far side, guarded by Bankson. Works it up to Harris. Actually, Dixon. Isaiah Chambers off the bench for Norfolk State at the next dead ball. Hawkins driving. Kind of got away with some steps. Here's Doherty. Doherty has it with 12 seconds. Deflected by Kaheem Brown. Now to Hawkins. Finds a pass underneath the Dixon. Had it stripped away from him, but it would stay with Howard. 7 seconds on the play clock. 14:46. Wholesale substitutions in. They're going to get Bankson out of the game to protect him with 14:46 and 3 personal fouls, KB.
A lot of time left in this ball game. Bankson has got to sit for a few minutes with these 3 fouls.
Howard working it. Far side, Hawkins, his three-pointer is partially deflected, and the loose ball comes down to Bryant. Bryant looking to run for Norfolk State. He brings it up. Inside to Dana Tate. Nice cutoff. Dana Tate goes in with the left hand. Reverse is good.
And here comes the Spartans. We know Dana Tate has the ability to score in bunches.
Dana Tate with 7 points for Norfolk State. 40-57. Wholesale substitutions about to come in for Coach Blakeney. Howard far side. Doherty D 3-pointers up and good by the softball. Apologize about the sound as the assistant coaches bang the table.
Okay.
60-40. Howard keeping this 20-point lead. They are maintaining it. Kaheem Brown with the rock for Norfolk State. He's being guarded by Williams. Now over to Dana Tate. Gets to who's that? Chambers. Isaiah Chambers has it. Kaheem Brown comes with the rock. Chambers is really hurting, KB.
Yes.
Dana Tate goes up and shot blocked by the long, as you say, 6 and 12. Nothing but height.
Straight up and down.
That's going to be a shot clock violation. Settle comes in, and coach is bringing in an entire new 5. So we talk about coach played 11 players in the first half. He's keeping the fresher legs out on the floor.
Yes, he knows that this Spartan team has the ability to make big comebacks. He can't take the risk of having his team lose this big lead.
So in the game for Howard is Robinson and Harris. Howard working around. This is Wood. Now to Robinson on the far side baseline. They drop it into Odom. Odom and Dana Tate, 1-on-1. That's that matchup. Wood thought about the 3, got ran off it by Jones. OG, no shot. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Harris D 3-pointer from top of the key is good. Nice ball execution by Howard. Use the entire shot clock. They now lead 63-40.
I counted 8 passes on that offensive possession for the Bison.
There's a missed shot by Terrence Jones. Howard looking to come on a break. They fire it underneath. They get it to Odom. Odom layup's no good. We got a foul call.
I think that's going to be on Chambers.
Yeah.
A little bit of a late whistle.
Yeah, definitely a late whistle. Dubia will come into the game. You know, Howard's on a 6-0 run here in the last minute, 49 seconds. Uncle Rel. Norfolk State made a move. Howard has answered that run and that move.
Yes, you saw the run. We knew it was there, and we saw it, and it was well executed by Norfolk State. And I've seen wholesale substitutions, as you all spoke about, from Howard University, trying to stymie that run. But the perimeter shooting has been the complete genesis for this entire game. And, you know, it's the bread and butter. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you see Howard University still staying in their lane, maintaining the spaces, but they're still knocking them down. And until that rim gets smaller and the shots don't continue to fall, they're going to keep chalking it away, but they're getting open looks. And that comes on the defensive side for Norfolk State. They've got to get out on the perimeter and do a little bit more pestering on the ball handlers. Back to you.
So O.C. Ojoji picks up his second foul on Joe Bryant. Back to a 24-point advantage, 64-40. Does the Spartans have enough in them? Nice give and go. Kaheem Brown off the glass, shot no good. Battle for the loose ball, controlled by the Spartans. Here's Dana Tate, goes up, puts it off the glass on the other side. So Dana Tate is the second leading scorer for Norfolk State. That's his 9th point. 64-42. Howard has that ball whipping and moving, KB. Here's Odom goes in, and they're going to have a foul call on Norfolk State. They're going to give that to Kaheem Brown. If he didn't put his hand on his shoulder, KB, he would have had a clean block, but he rolled his shoulder to give himself a little bit extra leverage.
A lot of movement with this Howard offense. You see a lot of picks, a lot of backdoor cuts. It's working for them tonight because it seems like the Norfolk State Spartans are falling asleep on defense.
So Odom back at the line. He just made his previous 2. He has 5 points this evening. His first shot's up and short. 64-42. Although Howard's dominating this game, the crowd's kind of quiet. You need them to move and make some heat in here because I'm cold.
I would love for them to make some. We're going to have to go outside to get warm.
So Odom misses a pair. Loose ball comes in the hands of Dana Tate. Now to Joe Bryant. OG all on top of Joe Bryant. Chambers has it for Norfolk State. Chambers now drops it all to Dumbia. Dumbia top of the key. 12 seconds on the clock. Dumbia looking to make a move. Head down. Skips it on the far side to Chambers. 6 seconds. Chambers trying to make a move. Chambers loses the ball. Here comes Howard. Robinson comes up for Howard. Finds a wide open Bryce Harris two-hand jam. 66-42. You go. Harris off the bench with 17 points. That ball almost came to me, KB.
Yeah.
Joe Bryant, the nephew, about to get him if he threw that ball at me. Got a foul call away from the ball. That's a Koji. That's
and a little too handsy with Bryant.
66-42. The number 1 versus number 2 seed. Number 1 is dominating this game. We will be back here in DC on the KRSB Network.
Attention all sports fans. Are you ready for in-depth coverage of historically Black college and university sports and professional sports? Look no further than HBCU, Pro Sports Media Association. We're a national media organization dedicated to covering the stories and achievements of HBCU student athletes and pro players. As a member, you'll have access to a community of local and national Black journalists, all working together to increase coverage of HBCU programs. Join us today. Be a part of the Legion of HBCU and pro sports reporters. Visit us at hbcuprosportsmedia.com and stay informed on the latest HBCU and pro sports news.
As an HBCU athlete, you have a unique perspective that can help others. At KRSB Network, we want to hear your story and share it with the world. Whether it's your favorite moment, the years you participated, or how your HBCU prepared you for life. We want to hear your story.
You are listening to MEAC Basketball on the KRSB Network.
And welcome back to the Burr here on the campus of Howard University. Orlando Hughes, Kia Bird, Uncle Rel, Terrell Dupree, and folks, 66-42. I repeat, 66-42, all Howard University. 11:20 here in the second half. The Burrs have come to play. There may have been controversy on January 14th in Eccles Hall, but there's been no controversy here tonight. Howard is moving the ball. They are finding players open, and the king, if you would, of the MEAC conference for the last 2 years, Joe Bryant, your nephew, not really your nephew, but we call him nephew Joe Bryant. He's being interrogated by Mr. Hawkins.
I mean, Mr. Hawkins, he's being interrogated by Only. You know, they're basically playing a box and one on him, face guarding him the whole time. You know, it's like that Ludacris song. When you move, I move. Just like that. Like, they're all over him tonight. But we have to talk about the hustle factor. It seems like the Bisons are, you know, basically out hustling the Spartans on every position. You see all 5 jerseys going for rebounds, both on the offensive and the defensive end. They've got their long arms in those passing lanes, kind of forcing bad passes with these Spartans who have so far haven't really been able to get into a rhythm in their offense.
Listen, Howard is running on Norfolk State. 16 fast break points to only 9 for the Spartans. Points in the paint, 22-20. That's even. The rebounds have been pretty much the same. You know, the bench has scored 28 points tonight. 28 points.
That's amazing.
28 points.
You know, and if these Spartans are going to make a move to try to cut into this deficit, the time is now. 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second half. The decision between who's number 1 and who's number 2 in the MEAC.
Coach Blankley telling his players what to do. Norfolk State inbounds right in front of us. Over to Dana Tate, now back to Joe Bryant. Joe Bryant stopped. Okoji is all over him. Here's Dana Tate in the lane. Thought about the jump shot. Not there. Odom shut it down. 6 seconds on the clock. Dana spins, baseline, lays it up off the glass, and Dana Tate now becomes the leading scorer with 11 points.
And you can never count out the skill set that Dana Tate is able to put on display night after night.
Here's Wood, got away with an elbow on Tate. Turnaround shot, no good. And it's jammed back home by Harris, who rode the skyline, the Metro, and off the bench with his 17 points. Woo.
I mean, Harris, all night we've said his name on both the offensive and the defensive, and he's done it all for this Bison. And he's never changed his expression. He's not beating his chest. He's locked in.
68-44. Howard on top of the Spartans. Dana Tate, deep three-pointer, left side is up and good. So Dana Tate heating up. As you hear him a little animated, as always. Robinson brings it up for Howard. Gets by Doumbia. Skips it far side. Here's Okoji. Working one-on-one. Drops to the Odom baseline. Odom working on Chambers. Nice find. Robinson near side. Three-pointers up and good. And he has the answer. 71-47. Bison on top of the Spartans.
Just when you think the Spartans are about to make another run, here comes the Bison with the counter.
So Euro step Doumbia through Odom and Robinson. He draws a foul. Dana Tate a little bit hot. About to see Bison check back in for coach. 9:37. You can't do anything. That foul on Odom is his 4th personal foul, so he's going to have to come out. He's an energy guy, KB, but I mean, Harris is coming and he's done the business for them off the bench.
Yeah, and I'm watching this conversation that's going on between Dana Tate and Harris of the Bison.
This is big boy basketball.
This is big man basketball.
Yeah,
the boys are at home. This is man ball tonight.
Doumbia hits the first. Dal Anderson in the cage, along with Chris Bankston. So it's Bankston, Joe Bryant, Dana Tate, and Chambers in the game. They're going to bring in the big man. Odom out. Dixon comes in. So Odom has 3 personal fouls. Yeah.
And we know Dana Tate to be the microwave for the Spartans. He can heat up very quickly.
So 71-48. 1 of 2 from the line. Here comes Howard, right, left to right on your dial. On the far side, as they drop it up top to Woods. Here's Robinson. Comes into the big man, number 12. As Dixon had it poked away from him. Spartans on a break. They have a 3-on-2. Dana Tate, nice Euro step off the glass and puts it in. So Dana Tate figures out. Did I say hell? I said heck. I'm gonna heat up the toast and warm things up myself. My apologies, KRSB Network, Uncle Rel, and corporate.
Corporate gonna get you.
Robinson driving baseline. Deep shot, Harris left side, 3-pointer up, no good. Loose ball pulled down by Joe Bryant. 8:52 in the contest. Deep 3-pointer put it by Anderson, no good. Howard tried to extend it. They found a leaking Woods in the backcourt. Led him a little bit too far. Turnover, Bison.
This team is trading turnovers.
Yeah. So for the Spartans, they have 8 turnovers. Howard with 5. Here comes an entire new 5 on the court. So Williams, Settle, Doherty, and Hawkins on the floor. The only player that will stay on, will be Harris.
And Coach Blakely being very deliberate and calculating with his lineup switches, keeping fresh legs, keeping the Spartans on their heels, not knowing what to expect.
Here's Joe Bryant, got cut off by Harris. Chambers finds an open Bankston. Bankston steps out of the paint and jams it home with 2 hands.
You won't see Chris Bankston shooting too many layups. If he's that close to the basket, he's going to flush it.
Bankston has 12 points. Dana Tate with 13 for the Spartans. Leading scorer for Howard is Harris with 17. This is Doherty. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 8 minutes in the game. Hawkins has it. 5 seconds. He needs to put it up. Had his pocket stolen by Joe Bryant. Gives it over. Dana Tate on the right side. Dana between the legs. Dana Tate looking. Drops it into Bryant. Bryant pushes off. Goes up. Shot no good, but he draws the foul. 71-52.
And Joe Bryant, recognizing he had the smaller Hawkins on him, and decided to get him in the post and take advantage. Wasn't able to finish, but he'll go to the line for 2.
71-52. Howard on top. Live from the Burr, Orlando Hughes, Kia Bird, Uncle Rel, KRSB Network's presentation. We're back home in the MEAC, folks.
I like it here.
We're back home.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a great time in the CIAA. We've got to see a lot of basketball, teams that we came through, St. Aug, the Fayetteville States, Lincoln. But this is MEAC basketball. This is a little bit different level, high energy, very skillful, very fundamentally sound, some snipers. It's a lot going on.
Oh, okay. I'm convinced that young lady just black flipped the entire length of the court cable.
Yeah,
I'm convinced Uncle Rel must be nice and young.
Looks like you had a great vantage point.
You know what, Uncle Rel?
These views are not shared by everyone on the KRSB Network.
Truly are not. The views and comments by Uncle Rel are truly that of Uncle Rel and hot chips, frozen cups and hot chips.
Yeah, he can't even get it.
So frozen cups and hot chips watching the flips now, huh? Anybody, huh? Oh, KB did the corporate move. It's normally me, but now frozen cups watching the back flip. See how you do me?
Listen.
I will just say it's a lot of talent at HBCUs. We've got gymnasts, we've got swimmers, we've got hoopers, we've got musicians. I mean, HBCU schools are just full of talent.
You said it. We got Black College essence, KB.
Yes. We've got great minds here on Howard University. They have a hospital. O made a comment that Minister Farrakhan got his treatment at Howard University Hospital. So there's a lot to be said about the greatness at these HBC universities.
Howard's representing, and not only the basketball team representing, the cheerleaders are representing by their cheers, taking everything personal that's being done by someone with a green and gold.
We hear after a big play, HU.
71-52. I mean, Howard's making it happen. Here in the second half, they're 7 of 15 from the floor, shooting 46%, 4 of 9 from downtown. So still pretty good from downtown. Norfolk State, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, 10 of 18 from the field. Chris Bankston is trying to influence things along with Dana Tate. But the way that Harris is shooting the rock consistently, Hawkins controlling the floor, and when he's not on the floor, you have Khalil Robinson directing traffic. So Coach Blakely's team is making it happen as the number 1 shooter in the MEAC misses his first shot from the foul line, and that's Joe Bryant.
Yeah, we have to talk about the length of Settles as well. Altering shots coming at the basket with those long arms.
Well, long feet, but yeah.
180. That's real. Like if I pulled out a scale right now, it might say 175 after this game with all the running.
Yeah. So Joe Bryant, 1 of 2 from the line, 71-53, 7:49 here. Here's Hawkins trapped in the backcourt. Swings it over to Blakely. Blakely still in the backcourt. They have to get it across. Nearly gets it in. Chris Bankson almost picked up his 4th personal foul. Hawkins 3-pointer top of the key. No good. Loose ball battle for. It is Williams, and I can't see who that was, KB. Down the far sideline. I want to say that's Jones. Ball went out of bounds off of. That was Daryl Anderson diving. Daryl Anderson and Williams for Howard University. Spartans will have the rock, 71-53. They're down by 18. 7 minutes to go. Battle for number 1. Number 1 versus number 2. Here's Joe Bryant looking to put a move. Joe Bryant, nice crossover on Hawkins. Goes in the lane. Shot so good. Battle for again. And we have the ball going out of bounds. Out of bounds off of Howard. Dubia will shoot. Dubia will inbound lane. So, yeah.
And Hawkins not being intimidated or backing down from Joe Bryant, the player of the year.
You talk about Joe Bryant, KB, and this the fact that he's out there playing today.
Yeah. We see, we've heard about Joe Bryant kind of nursing some injuries. He's not 100%, but, truly a player who showed toughness throughout this season, playing through injuries, maintaining this team and being this team's leader.
Dana Tate with a nice pump fake, got settled in the air to draw the foul. With that foul on settle his first, that puts Howard in the penalty. So Dana Tate will be at the line to shoot 1 and 1 for the Spartans. Dana Tate's a 76% free throw shooter, hits the first. So Dana Tate now with 16 points. It was his first free throw of the night, KB.
Yeah.
So Dana Tate gathers himself. Senior from Boston. Second shot rattles around, no good. Harris is skied and snatched that one basically off the rim for Howard. Here comes Howard. Nice pass to Harris. Swings it over to Settle. Now wide open. Hawkins goes in the lane, and Hawkins gets clobbered by 2 Spartans as the Red Sea just parted as Hawkins drove down. Jack Dobia gets banged for that foul, his first, team 6 here in the second half.
The Bison has this Norfolk State defense scrambling.
So Hawkins is an 80% free throw shooter, shooting 2. We talk about Hawkins for Howard University at the line, one of the smaller players on the court. Elijah, 5'11", 152 out of the Matha.
Wow. I mean, and when you see a player that size, you don't necessarily think of Division II, but this is a talented, skillful point guard that these Bison have, and he's showing that he's built for Division I basketball despite his small stature.
Shots up and good. 73-54. 7 minutes in this contest. Howard still shooting above 50% from downtown. They're a little pressure. They're trapping. Norfolk State now gets into their offense. This is Dubia looking to get it to Joe Bryant. Joe calling for the rock. One-on-one with Hawkins. Goes up. His shot's no good. Battle for the loose ball. Pulled down by Harris over Bankston. Here comes Hawkins for Howard. Hawkins in the lane. Skips it out far side. And Howard will reset the ball, leading by 19 points, KB. 73-54. 6:24 in the clock.
And you normally don't see Chris Bankston losing too many rebounding battles, but Harris is doing a great job boxing him out and keeping him out of that lane.
Daryl Anderson gets called for a hand check that puts Howard in the penalty. So going to the line. Oh, no, they're going to say team 6. So Howard will have the rock inbounding in front of their own bench. Into the game for them is the big man, Kobe Dixon. Inbounding is Hawkins. Hawkins, just like a little bat, he catches the rock. He's gone. This is Dixon looking, Goes up, had a shot blocked by Bankston. Loose ball comes out to Dana Tate. Norfolk State looking to run. They need to cut into this lead to have it about at least 10 points, KB, with 4 minutes to go if they want to be serious about tonight.
Yeah.
Joe Bryant off the screen by Dana Tate, top of the key. Joe Bryant skips it. They're going to call Joe Bryant for the charge call. Dixon stood in there and took the charge.
Yeah. And Dixon, as we talked about, a graduate student, a transfer from Cornell University. I would love to hear about his transition from Cornell to Howard, what that was like.
So, Okoji into the game. Wood, Robinson, Odom, they keep rotating that bench over and over and over. 73-54. See, we're going to see what Robinson has for Howard. He's coming up. Had the ball nearly stolen. They're going to pick up a foul on Jack Dumbia. That's going to be 1-1, KB.
I mean, and so far, these Bison have not even taken a moment to take their foot off the gas, maintaining this lead, often ballooning it to over 20 points.
I was going to do another analogy, but then Uncle Rel and I would be fussing at each other. Corporate would be calling us. You would just roll your eyes at both of us. So I'm just going to keep my joke to myself, Uncle Rel.
You ain't going to get me cut in here, oh.
Robinson hits the front end of the 1-1 from the line. Well, KB said they're keeping their foot on their throat. I mean,
I said the gas.
The gas. All right. Robinson's second shot's up, gets to shoot his bounce, and it goes in 75-54, 5:43. Joe Bryant trapped in the backcourt. Now to Dana Tate. Near side, Anderson got cut off by Woods. Anderson now to Joe Bryant. Great defense by Howard. They're communicating in the Bankston. Bankston goes in, no good, and he's going to pick up a foul. He's going to pick up a foul by the young man, Osei Okoji. And OC, that's not a smart charge to take Chris Bankston.
Yeah.
That's his fourth. Bankston will be at the line to shoot 2.
And this otherwise quiet HU crowd is letting the referees know they disagree with that last call.
And this look what's on the floor right now for Coach Blankley.
Sophomore, junior, and a freshman handling business for these Bisons.
Crazy. Elijah Wood got things started. Bankston 1-1. First shot's up, no good. Loose ball tapped out. Stolen by Okoji for Howard. Here's Robinson. Now to Wood. 75-55.
Howard in no rush, settling into their offense, using clock. They know they're in total control right now.
Robinson moving around. Norfolk State trying to trap. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Robinson has it. Looking to make a move on Bankston. Deep three-pointer by Harris. It's up and good. So Harris hits that three-pointer. He has 20 points. He's the game leader.
Oh, my goodness.
His career high as we're being told for Harris. Here's a pass to Bankston. Only stolen. Dana Tate picks it up. Dana goes in the lane. No good. Bankston puts it up. Air ball, but he was fouled by Odom. And Odom, that should be his 5th personal foul, right? For Odom.
That may be it.
So trying to see if that was Odom. That's his 4th personal foul. Okay. Got it. So yeah, they call that foul on number 11 for Howard, and that's on OC.
Okoji.
Okay. At the line is Bankston. First shot's up and good.
And Okoji, Odom, and Harris doing a great job boxing out Dana Tate and Chris Bankston, who are used to having their way on the glass.
And Uncle Rel, we are being spoiled because we got the man, the legend, the longtime Howard, former SID, sitting right next to us, giving us stats and everything.
I mean, not just stats, but all of the
Nope.
inside scoop.
Yeah, everything.
Very impressive, extremely impressive. You gotta love the love that KRSB gets all over the country.
And this was a relationship, and I'll talk about this because the game is really not that much to talk about, still 437, but this was a relationship that we all established at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, Howard versus Morehouse. Corporate, myself, we were all up there to call that football game, which was kind of similar to this game. Another Howard blowout. That's what you talk, Uncle Rel.
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm just happy to be here, you know, and it's more like here being able to forge the relationships. But what you see now is you see a Howard University team, and Coach Blakeney, you have to give him credit. You're right. From bell to bell, the game plan was executed perfectly. And they're, a few moments and a few minutes away from being able to have possible bragging rights as they ease on down into the Tidewater area to start the MEAC tournament next week. And if you're Norfolk State, no matter what the outcome happens here in the next few moments, this is not a game that Coach Jones and the staff wanted to have coming into and being the season finale. And they've been kind of sputtering as of late. And they're going to have to right the ship because tournament play is not going to get any easier. And if you got other teams like Howard coming at you, what do you think the underlings that are going to draw you in the first and second round are going to be feeling? Norfolk State is going to be hosting the tournament, but they can't be comfortable with a performance like this.
So, I mean, if things stay accordingly for both of you, this would be 3 out of 4 games that they lost. 3 out of their last 4. Now, you can tell Joe Bryant's not well. Kaheem Brown is definitely having injuries, some type of injury with a lower extremity. He hasn't really played the second half. If you're coach, you got to get your team healthy, get them ready for next week. As you talked about, KB, actually, we were all talking about it for our little pregame powwow on a ride down there. They're the hunted. They're the hunted. So they see Norfolk State playing in every major HBCU tournament, a lot of television time. They are the hunted. And I mean, Howard's undefeated at home in MEAC play this year, and they're averaging 82 points. And what is it right now? 78.
Right. Howard doing a great job exposing some of the holes and vulnerabilities of this Spartan team, keeping fresh legs in, showing them different defenses, basically silencing Joe Bryant throughout this game.
Here's Wood, throws it off the glass, no good. Harris with the follow-up, and Harris continues to add to his career high with his 24th point.
Yeah, and that's the first time I've seen him show any emotion in it, but it wasn't even a smile. It was just a balled fist and tight lip after that big dunk.
As he deflects the ball out of bounds, this is the first time that Howard has swept the Spartans. First time. 413, 80, 57. Bison celebrating here on senior night in a big way. Anderson near side. They're swinging down the Bankston. Bankston trying to work in on Odom. His one-handed shot is up and good.
Chris Bankston, athleticism on display. We talked about that spin move in the post with his back to the basket.
Bankston there. Coach about to put in another hockey rotation in a few moments.
Yeah.
This is Bryce Harris moving it around. 80-59. Odom now trying to make his move on Bankston. Skips it out to Robinson. Near side, Wood got ran off the three-point line. Pulls up off balance shot. No good. But he drew the foul on number 13 for Norfolk State, Darrell Anderson, the junior out of North Chesterfield.
And Wood has that look, that ball player look, very tall, very lean. He moves like a ball player. You could tell from the very beginning of this contest that he's a pure shooter, hitting 2 early baskets.
So, Wow. So Howard, they say 36 years last time since they won the MEAC regular season championship. They are on their way, Uncle Rel. They are on their way. Got to say hats off to the Bison. They're dominating. And the question was, KB, do you think that Bryce Harris was even on coach's list for Norfolk State as far as a player to watch out for?
I mean, he might have had a small honorable mention, but I wouldn't think that he was the focal point for tonight's contest. But he's come off this bench and been the spark from the very beginning. He's done everything for this Bison's team. I mean, on both ends of the floor. Can't be denied. And this is not a player that is huge. He's not as long as some of his teammates, but he's been able to control the glass, box out one of the top rebounders in the MEAC, and Chris Bankston. You know, we've seen him defend Dana Tate, who, you know, can go off in a game very easily. But wow, what a find for this Howard team and Bryce.
80-59, Uncle Rel, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. You talked about at the tournament next week. Howard will be the number 1 seed. Norfolk State should be the probably number 3 seed if Central wins. And we don't have that score.
Tonight,
yeah.
Wow.
A position that they haven't been in a while.
It is what you would call a seismic shift in the MEAC conference this evening. And yes, over 80 points tonight. But the 52 points at halftime, you all, was the most by any team in the entire nation this year. So that just kind of lets you know the offensive onslaught that you saw from the Bison, who, as you said, haven't been dancing since 92. You always steal my thunder, you knowledgeable broadcaster, you. But it has been certainly quite a performance for the Bison. And right now, you know, you almost have to say seeding shouldn't matter for Norfolk State. If you didn't go in as number 1, you maybe should fall to number 3 with the uncertainty, because really the one thing that needs to be galvanized is the way that they get back on the hardwood and put a game plan together. Because right now, this is not the Norfolk State team, the perennial Spartan team that we see that we're used to in the postseason.
All right, so Wood at the line shooting 2. Uncle Rel missed the front end of his first. 80-59. Wow. You would have thought a better game. And we came down here to see a nice paddling. Wood 1 of 2. Actually, no, missed that second one off there. Still hard to see behind big coach Rob Jones. On the far side, Derek Bryant, Dana Tate working one-on-one with Wood. Drops it inside to Bankston. Bankston turning, facing, picks up the rock. Up to Dubia. Dubia shot off the iron. Loose ball pulled down by Williams. Williams gets it over to Hawkins. Hawkins on that left side. He'll bring it out and set up the Bison offense. This is Williams. Spartans trying to run the trap. They're blitzing the corners. Coach Blakely telling his team, hold it up. Coach Jones telling his team to speed them up. The three-pointer right side is up and good by Wood. And for Wood, that is his 4th three-pointer, KB.
You cannot leave Wood alone in that corner without 4 hands in his face.
Joe Bryant, desperation three-pointer up. No good. Loose ball out of bounds off of Wood 4. So Wood will come out, settle back in.
And who saw this coming with this Howard team? I mean, they've going deep into their bench, playing at least 11 players, constantly fresh legs coming in.
The hockey lineup. Anderson got away with some steps. They drop it into Dana Tate. Inside to Dubia. Dubia puts it up and scores it 83-61. 2-11 in this contest. Spartan still trapping. Hawkins skips it up. Williams with the rock. Williams will now bring it out and reset. Now goes back over to Hawkins.
No rush for this Bison team.
Man, they're very disciplined, KB, offensively. We've noticed that before tonight, how disciplined they are offensively. Hawkins now to Williams. D 3-pointer top of the key. Left it short. Loose ball tap and controlled by the Spartans. Here comes Joe Bryant. Under 2 minutes here in the contest. Bryant lays it off to Jack Dubia. Dubia D 3-pointer top of the key. Shots no good. Battle for loose ball. And it's up to Bankston. And they're going to call a foul on Chris Bankston for a push-off.
Yeah, it looked like he went over the back.
So we'll walk the length of the courts. And shooting foul shots for Howard will be.
Is it Kobe Dixon or was he over his back?
I could see Coach
Yeah.
Jones.
No, I'm looking at
Yeah.
the TV replay right now. It looks like he went over the back of Dixon. And you notice on that last possession, Joe Bryant doesn't even look like he's really looking to attack at all.
No, you mentioned it, but we've also heard here where we're seated, he's not healthy, and everyone knows he's not healthy. Dixon's first shot's up and good. So Kobe Dixon is a 72% free throw shooter as he puts in a pair, 84-61. Robinson out of the contest. Doherty will go to the bench, 132. Norfolk State bringing it up. There's Joe Bryant. Drops it off to Dana Tate. Howard still pressing defensively. Up this many points. They go inside to Bankston. Bankston catches it behind the back. Nice acrobatic shuffle. That fouled on. That's going to be a Dixon. That's going to be his fourth foul. 121, 85-61.
And Bankston, realizing he had the slower Dixon on him, was basically begging for the basketball.
So we've talked about this and about there's a player missing for Norfolk State that we don't see. And that is Christian Eames. Not certain what has happened.
It's kind of a Where's Waldo type situation where there hasn't been any press as to why he isn't in the lineup or where he is, but we haven't seen him in quite a while.
Ball on the wall. We're going to have a pushing foul on Norfolk State. Joe Bryant walked the length of the court, 85-62, 119 in the contest. So we'll call a foul. We got more shots. Guess we could ask if you go KD on your side, your left side, maybe ask that coach where this person is to your left, right there, typing on the computer. Get some intel, Uncle Rel. It's Hawkins. Will shoot 2 shot foul. Coach asking for a review, so they're at the review table to our right. 85-62, 119. Again, hats off, Uncle Rel, to Blakely, Coach Blakely, in what he's done with his Howard Bison, because they've rounded into form at the most important time of the year.
Yeah.
It has been a masterful game plan for Coach Blakely and the Howard University coaching staff. This is one that they will certainly remember in his third year here with the Howard University ball club. But yes, they'll remember this one. This is a program builder. This helps you recruit. It's definitely going to have your team filling themselves down in the Tidewater region when they come down for the MEAC tournament. This one here will sting as the Spartans come back down 95, back to Norfolk, Virginia. And Coach Jones, he's got to, certainly regroup his troops. This one here is going to hurt, and they're going to hear about it not only on the bus, but when you get back on campus and through the MEAC and social media channels. This one isn't going anywhere. And when you start to hear the pundits and those like us who sit back and don't bounce the ball anymore, but talk about those that do, we're going to let them have it and let them know just how much they're going to need to make adjustments, or they'll be sitting in the booth with us in the postseason when the big dance starts.
You're absolutely right, Uncle Rel. Hawkins hits the first of 2. Second shot's up and good. 87-62. Howard still playing pressure. This is Joe Bryant. Brings it up 113. Howard still trapping, KB. Still trapping. Deep in the corner by Norfolk State. No good. Hawkins has it. and he'll walk it up and bring this game closer to ending.
Man, Coach Blakely trying to make sure everybody's mom and dad get to see them on TV as he empties his bench with less than a minute left in the game.
So into the game, oh, he's going very deep in his bench.
Yeah.
So Howard stepping off, the seniors. Williams and Robinson gets a nice hand and hug by the coach as they come out of the game as seniors. What better way to win the regular season championship and then blow out your nemesis in Norfolk State, because they've been the bully on the block for
this is barbershop talk.
Yeah. Too bad I don't go to the barbershop anymore.
Me either, but I imagine that's what you guys talk about there.
So Jack Dubia strips the pockets of Robinson. They drop it into Bankston. Bankston had it poked away. Howard into their bench. We got Freedom Reigns, 5'11" freshman out of LA. We got Thomas Weaver, 5'10", junior from Upper Marlboro.
5'10", try again. Try again.
He's my size.
Okay.
Today to take deep 3-pointer left side. No good. 35 seconds as Freedom Reigns was tied up with Jack Dumbia.
This is going to be
definitely from LA. That look on Jack Dumbia. Took me away, be at the line and shoot too. So.
As Uncle Rel talked about, these Spartans are going to have to regroup after this little, 3-game losing streak that they've been on.
So
and this is
Freedom Reigns is Ving Rhames' kid, so that's why he stared at Dumbia. Like, you know who my father is? And you're like,
really?
So his mom is apparently short.
Right. The genetics are confusing on that one.
Deep 3-pointer, Joe Bryant's up and good. Uncle Rel, you like that? So Ving Rhames' son is a student at Howard University. Uncle Rel, even listen. So,
but no, I mean, I was just mesmerized by the who's who itinerary list. I didn't even know, hey, I didn't get invited, that's for sure.
So Anderson's 3-pointer is up, no good, goes out of bounds. Still will be, we got a foul underneath. 12.6 seconds, 87-66.
And the referees making sure they don't cheat the stat book, calling every foul, every travel, everything with those 12 seconds left.
So he has 2 fouls, but I'm just being told he has a 4.0.
Big Rhames, son?
Yes.
All right.
Better have a 4.0.
I mean, we talked about the greatness at HBCUs. It's probably been afforded, a great education his entire life.
And so rebounded. Here comes Howard. They're just going to walk this one out and win this game. Ball stripped. Norfolk State has it. They throw it ahead. 1 second on the shot clock. Jaden Tate shots up. No good. Howard wins by 20 points, 87-67. Congratulations to Coach Blankley as his team wins the 2022-23 MEAC regular season champion. They'll be the number 1 seed next week in Norfolk, Virginia. We will see you down there for that. Howard University Bison. Hats off, folks.
Great win for this Bison's team tonight. I'm waiting for number 34 to come down. And this guy was locked in all game long. Bryce Harris, start to finish. You see, Coach Jones has a special word for him. He calls to talk to him.
Yeah. He played Uncle Rel as though he was a Kawhi clone.
Right.
All serious, 22 points, a career high as the Bison defeat the Spartans.
He was auditioning for a role in the Kawhi biopic.
Definitely auditioned role to role.
It was beautiful play.
Yeah.
Yes, from the big guys inside, too, from you all. You spoke about it. Excellent play from the bigs down low. Just it wasn't even close. I think they got it down to 17 at one point. It's almost fitting that it was a 20-point game because they were just all of our facets. Defense, the outside shot was superb. And then the bigs in the paint. This is a paint game, but you can't say it without the perimeter shooting. Just a complete total victory for the Bison.
Total victory. Our player of the game. Who is it, KB? Number 34, Bryce Harris.
No question. Bryce Harris is the player of the game. I mean, we talked about, was he on Coach Jones' scouting report for tonight to come out and have an explosion like he did?
Yeah, I the way he played, it didn't appear as though he did. Howard goes on to be victorious, 84-67. Past 11 o'clock here on the East Coast, 8 o'clock for those on the West Coast. We've never done a game where it's 8 o'clock on the West Coast.
And we see the difference. You know, the CIAA is a very guard-heavy league. But here, I mean, it's everything. You got traditional big men that can stretch the defense. We have, you know, talented guards that play with a high IQ. It's a different game.
And fast guards, very fast guards.
Right.
Because that first half, the way Howard came out, it was like watching.
It was cocaine bear.
Yeah. Exactly. You said it. Now, corporate get on KB as well.
That's a movie out now. She
I know
can't get on me.
Check, please.
So with that, Uncle Rel, we will put the check. So for Uncle Rel, Terrell Decree, Uncle Rel's halftime show, we always say thank you. Kia Bird, I'm Orlando Hughes. This is the KRSB Network's presentation of MEAC basketball. Final score, Howard University 87, Norfolk State 67. So long.
The KRSB Network, the sound of HBCU athletics. Anytime. Any Play Mobile Media Radio broadcast.